I am a visual arts teacher creating a blog for each of my sections in Seesaw. So this is just a quick view. This isn't how to create a blog. What I'm showing you right now is what it takes to create a blog per section in Seesaw. So I have several sections that I teach, and I'm enabling a blog for each of them. Each of them have a similar URL. I'm going into every single one of them, changing the image so that they're all unified and they look the same. I'm making it public because my plan is to post wow work from the classes so that people can come in and see what's happening. So here's my second section, going into a new section, creating a blog. And this time I'll explain this a little bit more. So in a new section, go to my wrench and down to enable blog. That's going to ask you if you want a public. I'm using this very similar code here, so I'm changing the last number, but I'll let you know that goes to 9. So then I had to switch to ABC. And there's my blog. Now I'm going up to that little icon up at the top to change my image, and you can write a little thing in there, a little welcome. But this is what I did for all 16 of my sections before moving on to creating my art gallery, which we're going to talk about. Once I've created a Seesaw blog for everyone, I did this. I created this document that basically has a link to every single one. I want to slow this down and tell you how I created it. The first thing that I did was I did a Google search, and I just looked up frames for my kind of what I was looking for. I wanted it to look like a gallery, and I pulled that onto my desktop. So I am looking for something transparent, but there wasn't always necessarily a transparent option. So instead I brought it into preview, and I'm hitting that little marker at the top, which brings up this magic wand, and I can highlight the areas that I want to delete. And what this does is it creates a transparent background around my frame by just highlighting it and hitting delete. So now I've created a PNG or a transparent image. So I can pull that off from my desktop and place it into my slides. It's super easy right there. Resize it to the size that I want, and then I'm just going to go ahead and change the background so that you can see that the image is truly transparent. So I'll just choose a color here to show that example, and you can see that even inside the frame we can see what is behind it. So now I'm going to fill that frame up with image and some text. So I'm going to go ahead and make a shape, and it's a little bit bigger than the opening in that frame. And you can go ahead and customize this. So I'm going to colors and gradient, and then just choosing a couple of different colors to change that too. So I'm clicking these edges and really becoming quite specific for what I'm looking for. So there's a lot of editing that you can go ahead and do in this program. Okay, once I've figured out what I want that to look like, I'll now add some text. So if I start typing right inside this shape, it already is ready to rock and roll for text. So I need to change the format. I'm putting it in the center, as well as in the center vertically and horizontally, changing the text style, and then going in and changing the size as well. So just making those few adjustments. And then, yep, that's looking great. Maybe a little bit smaller just so that I'm sure that it fits into that frame. Remember, we made the shape a little bit larger. So now I'm going to grab that URL from my blog. So I go back over to my Seesaw where I have blog, and I can highlight the URL. This is the URL. Copy that, and then go back into my, where is it? There it is. Into my slideshow. I highlight the shape and I can link it. So just copy that in, paste it in, and it is linked. Now all we have to do is highlight that shape again, and I'm going to right click on it, which is going to allow me to put the order so it goes to the back. So I'm going to send it to the back, and you can see how it's nicely framed. Now I learned this the hard way. I went ahead to all of my frames and all of my shapes and highlighted both at the same time. Then I grouped them. What this did, unfortunately, well, it did two things. It allowed me so that I can move the shape together all in it. That is awesome. We can resize it together. It is one. Unfortunately, what happens is that it loses the link. All right, so here's what we ended up with. We kind of have this portfolio, this gallery that is created with all the different frames. So I was able to take frames, create them just the way I've shown you. I used different shapes such as ovals. So when I inserted the shape, and instead of choosing rectangle, I chose an oval. It works exactly the same way. Same application with centering it and changing the words, the text is exactly the same. Linking it is exactly the same, and pushing it back. So now I have a digital art show that looks something like this. And what I've decided to do is place it onto my blog. And I just embedded that right into my blog so that parents or other students can go ahead and click into any of the classes and view what other students are doing. This is the exact same thing that we would do in the classroom. We'd walk around, do a gallery walk, and see what other students are doing. This is a great inspiration, as well as just just kind of getting a feel for how other people are addressing the same lesson. So I think that this digital art show is a good way to present what you're doing online, offline. It's easy because students are already submitting their work to you, and all you have to do is just hit one button and it shows up on those Seesaw blogs. That was extremely fast, so feel free to slow this down and pause it when you need to.